is going to be about it's going to be a 360 picture on how to use your story to build your business. So if you're stumbling upon this, you're going to want to get a paper and pen, and you're going to want to hunker down. I'm going to teach you the core of how we've gotten past a million, right? Have we helped our clients and customers double their revenue, triple, ... Yes, you can have funnels and all this other crazy stuff, but at the end of the day, if you just have your story, the whole thing is like crystal sailing. You just have to hold on to your story like a cape for dear life and not let it go. If you're the person who's like, man, I'm super tired of having this bit of information, this piece, this, all these little pieces, and you're like, I can't deal with it anymore, then this is definitely going to be the training for you, for sure. And I am just going to take a couple minutes and talk for a second before I begin the training, because I want to make sure technology-wise we're good. Here's what's real for me, though. I can tell you that forever in a day, there are going to be people who make you feel that you're the one who's crazy. Okay, you're going to have people in your life who make you feel that you're crazy. You're going to have people in your life that come across, and you're supposed to bend and shift, and you start to push, and you're like, hey, I really want you to treat me like that. That person comes along and they say, hey, I can't. I know we're not talking about this. I'm gonna talk for about 2 minutes before I get into the training, and it's gonna be so good. If you can just say, put the word coffee in the chat if you're here. If you can tag a family or friend member, hey, Princess, how you doing? Okay, I promise you this is gonna be good. All right, so here we go. So don't dim your light. You're going to be tempted in front of the wrong person, especially someone who's close to you. And you say, hey, I want you to treat me like this. And they're like, no, I'm not going to treat you like that. And then you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. In the last 24 hours, I had an experience like that. And I woke up this morning with clarity around the importance of owning your own value. Yeah, coffee. Come on, coffee. Let me know who's here. So let me talk about coffee real quick, because at the end of the day, at the end of this training, you're going to have a 360 picture of how to grow your business. We're in the middle of center stage here at DT Nation. And so I'm in the midst of us taking people offline during the mornings, because our training's at night. During the mornings, I promised them that I would come and teach and do multiple pieces of it. So this is one of my favorite places to drink. You have coffee. We'll go, what's in your coffee? Brown sugar and is it like just sugar and cream or what? Like, tell me what's in it. So I bought this in Hong Kong, and I bought it at a Starbucks place, Hong Kong. So the Hong Kong Starbucks. So here's the key. Whenever you're making the right cup of coffee, it's tempting to put it in a plastic cup. It's tempting, not plastic, but a styrofoam cup. It's tempted to just put it in any old cup, but coffee is so much better when you have the right container. Now, you have the right container, you put a great cup of coffee and it feels good. But I want to talk to you about brand. Oat milk is my #1 favorite thing that I'm drinking right now. It's absolutely bananas how much I'm in bed with oat milk, but this is another conversation. So in Miami, we have a couple of different brands. I want you to stay with me, okay? So this is called Café Bustelo. And if someone knows someone from Café de Bustelo, I think we're going to start looking for a sponsorship, because I spend thousands of dollars a year here inside of this company. Now, what's important about this is that whenever you don't see a Café Bustelo at the store, you're tempted to pick up the back door brand. Okay, so Café La Lave is an important brand in Miami, but it's not really like, you don't get excited. You actually only get excited about this. If you know what Café Bustelo is, can you please put Café Bustelo in the chat if you know it, okay, with an exclamation point, because people get excited about it. Your products and services, your product, your service, and your story have to sit inside of an environment that get people excited about consuming them. Your products and services and your story has to sit inside of a container that gets people excited before they even get the opportunity to consume it, about consuming it. Whenever I see that I go to a restaurant or a place, a store, and they have this, I already know that these people are speaking my language. But it's perception. Café Bustelo is everything. Every once in a while, I walk into a place and they have Café La Lave, and I'm like, eh. Now, here's the importance, okay? Clarity of how great you are in the market, how awesome you are. Like, you can have your products and service in a container, but anywhere, does it exist right now? Do you have a place right now where you make it clear to the market that you're the best? Stay with me. I don't care what you feel like you do and don't do. I don't care what product you feel you do and don't sell. You sell yourself. Whether you are here trying to build a community, you're trying to build your customers' products, you're trying to hustle some money on the side, or you're like, hey, Tiffany, I'm already doing $1 million. I'm taking this thing to the next level. Let me show you what makes them just some boss stuff, okay? Because here's the question. If you don't have a place right now that says that you're the best, and if you do, I want to see it. I want you to find it online, whether it's a screenshot, a link to your page, whatever it might be. I'm going to ask you to tag me and put it inside of this chat, regardless of where you're seeing this. Because this is like where like proof meets the, I don't know who just said hi, Tiffany. Hey, whoever just said good morning and hi. Hey, can I get a good morning? It's been a tough 24 hours for me. Can I get a good morning? I want to know if my people are here. I need a good morning. So here's what's important about Café Bustelo, okay? I want you to read this with me. It says, if you can see this, it says, always pure and flavorful like no other. Always pure and flavorful like no other. They're not playing with people. They didn't just say, hey, this is a great cup of coffee. They're not like Folgers, always in your cup. There's a jingle. Yeah, all that stuff is catchy. You can have catchy phrases. You can have catchy sayings. You can have catchy concepts, but you really want to like slay the game. You absolutely want to step to the game and make it clear that you're the best. BEST. Let me read this for you again, because Café Bustelo, they're not playing with nobody. This is a Miami thing. And I'm sure, you know what? I should have known it. Roll it. Listen, made in Miami, Florida. When I see this, my heart is leaping. Always pure and flavorful like no other. Do you have a boss statement right now, anywhere near your products, your services, your pages that says that you're the best? Stay with me. Answer me this question. Do you have a place somewhere in the world where you say to the world, I'm the best? You can wait forever and a day for someone else to say it, but I'll tell you, I've waited. No one else is going to come and tell you that you're the best until you tell yourself you're the best. Now, stay with me, because there's a really important lesson about your products, your services, your branding, your story, and the container you put it in. The clarity of this brand, the clarity of this product lets me know that they know that they're everything. And then I'm like, oh, well, this is everything. So every single morning, I hold on to this, like literally, I'm like, I love you. Now, every once in a while, I'm in a city or a place, and I find this, because this is the backup. There's no real statement. Todos especialmente para el gusto latino. This is the preferred brand of the Latins. That wasn't anything exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really wasn't anything for us to talk about. Like, just think about this for a moment. This means that they're just playing the game. This means they're slaying it. I need you to put in the chat for me, slay the game. The goal for you is to make it clear that you're the best. They didn't need anybody else's approval. They didn't ask these people what they thought. They didn't go to Folgers or any other company and say, hey, what are you thinking? What do you think about me putting this on my stuff? Do you have a place right now where the world knows that you're amazing and that you're the best? First question. Second question, as you look for these pieces, okay, because this is really important. This is super, super important. And if you're here and if you're part of this class, I'm going to ask you, please, to tag a family member. If you see a family member who hasn't seen this or is not here, please tag a family member. So here we have this. Now, when you get a little crazy and you're like, Tiffany, we can get you some coffee. Yeah, for sure. We've got it. So one day someone was like, hey, Tiffany, we can get you some coffee. And they showed up with this. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I looked at this container and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? This is coffee. I drink espresso. So here's why this is important. Oftentimes you're putting products and services in front of your customers and clients and you think that it's going to convert. You put something in front of your customer and client, you're like, oh, this is going to convert for sure because they sort of kind of told me they needed something sort of kind of. Your customer needs the exact product that they're vying for. Can you put the word exact product in the chat? They need the exact product that they're vying for. This is so vital because now you show up and you give them. Can you believe someone stepped to the table and they gave me this? Now, at our live events, for our Relentless Mastermind clients, at our story intensives, the ultimate sleepover, any of the time where people have the opportunity to interact with me in an intimate setting, I am known for bringing my machine because I have a cafecito, like a cafe. I don't know what you call it exactly, but it's a máquina. A máquina. You see me talking in Spanish? I'm from Miami. So it's a máquina, and you put it in the stove, and you put this inside of it, and then I make café con leche. Now, café con leche is not something to play around with. Every single morning, regardless of what city or country I'm in, I have the right ingredients to make the right product. So first we talked about having the right container, right? And then we talked about what's clear on your container that you're presenting to the market. Do you have a boss statement right now? And if you do, share it with me. Where's your boss statement? Every sales page, every product that you have, every event page that you have, even if you just have like a tiffanylargy.me kind of page and you're like, I'm just going to tell people who I am in the world, which everybody should for sure. There's so many free pages that you can just put yourself up there. It's like, yes, you should. Or maybe it's your Facebook. Yes, I'm the best. I'm the bomb.com at whatever it is. They say that they're the bomb.com in coffee. I'm sad whenever this is on the table and this is not there because I'm looking for this boss statement, okay? Let me say it to you in Spanish. Siempre puro y pleno de sabor como ninguno otro, like no other. Now, I'm sad when I see this. Now, if your customer is buying for espresso, okay? If your customer is buying for a certain product and you give them something that simulates what they have, listen, if you give them something similar, as tempting as it may seem, you're going to feel like, oh, well, I put something in front of them. That's coffee. This is coffee. The answer is no. They're not both coffee. They're not both the same. They don't feel the same. They don't have the same sediment. But right after this, it's like, well, this is good enough, but is it? The truth of the matter is this is a big, beautiful container. It has a lot of bells and whistles on it, but the contents inside is not what I'm buying for, which is why this is still full because I'm not drinking it. This I don't drink. There's nothing wrong with Dunkin' Donuts. There's nothing wrong with Dunkin' making an original blend, medium roast ground coffee, but there's nothing about it that says that they're the best. There's nothing about it. So they're betting on their brand to sell it. But what if I don't drink Dunkin' Donuts out in the world, right? What if I don't consume that product? They still had a responsibility to sell me on the value of what the contents are inside. And because they failed to do so, this stays full and unused. And I'm vying for this. Now, here's the next most important piece of this. Once you establish that you're the best, once you say to yourself, hey, listen, I'm the best. And here's what allows you to say the best. What allows you to say that you're the best is your story. Your story allows you to say that you're the best. Your story allows you to position to the world and to the market that you're like no other. Your story allows you the confidence to say, oh, I'm the best that there ever was. Your story allows you to say that you are always pure and flavorful, but the like no other. If they had just left it with always pure and flavorful, but the like no other is where the magic is. Now, in this, we have this last piece of this puzzle, okay? So once you have the right recipe, so I make café con leche, and you would think that it's just milk and water, for crying out loud. Did you hear that I almost said water? Did you hear what I just said? I guess there's water to make the coffee. Water is an ingredient, but that was a little tough. Almost like we're mixing water in with that was sad. Okay, stay with me. So in the machine, I put the espresso, I close it, I pack it in a certain way, I close it really, really tight, then it comes out. Now, it's tempting to just take the cup and pour it, but that's not the recipe. I have people who have spent anywhere from $2,500 to $7,500 to be in a room with me so that I can make café con leche, which is crazy because we make it every morning in Miami. It's like a staple. It's like something that's nostalgic. It's not about drinking coffee to wake up. It's about something that fuels the heart. Someone sent me a private message and asked me what is on my chain, and it's really simple. It's a money sign because today is a day about money. Now, this café con leche, there is a process to it. And I take the first tiny, most hottest part of the coffee that comes out before the rest of it is brewed. I add it to a certain amount of sugar and I make a whip. And then from this whip, I then add a certain amount of coffee. I whip it some more. There is milk that is boiling. You cannot put this in the microwave. You don't need a frother. Don't need a frother. That's not how you make café con leche. Every time I see someone like, oh yeah, we've made café con leche, I look at it and I go, well, that froth lets me know that this is a latte. I don't want a latte, thank you very much. I want café con leche. It's very different. And then because I don't need the foam to have the body, I need the substance to have the body. So then you take it and then you pour it, and then it gets this clean film of amazing deliciousness on top. And then you go, now here's what's important about this. The recipe is the last part of it. Somewhere in your world, I told our students last night, because we're in the middle of Center Stage, and if you are not part of Center Stage, if you have not been to one of our live events, if you're still trying to figure it out, you should just spend whatever the little dollars it is, wherever this is, whatever time you find this, whether it's today or 5 years from now, there's some event that, as long as I'm alive, that we're producing that's going to teach you how to tell your story. You should just come. Because the truth of the matter is that you could have all the ingredients, but if I'm not clear on the recipe as the customer and I try to follow it and I don't get the outcome, then we both lose. In order for us to win, we have to have the right container, the products inside. We need to have a bold, clear statement that makes it clear to the world that we're just the bad, like we're it in this planet. And then not comparing ourselves to other people and not putting someone else down. We don't have to put someone else down in order for us to win. We just have to be clear that we just have to be clear that we're amazing. I hope that makes sense. Then afterwards, we need to have the right recipe. So the recipe dictates that I don't need volume. I just need one bite, 2-3 sips for me to taste the difference. Whatever you're giving your customers and you people who you love, and you should be your customers and clients, like whatever you're doing there, you want them to taste the difference. They should be able to taste the difference immediately, not afterwards. So what happens is that you have these people, because typically our retreats and things like that are on some big, beautiful property. And they're when I get to the property, we have them around the table, and then I walk in and I start making coffee in the kitchen. It's pretty cool. But what's important is that I always have 4 or 5 people like, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee. And then I'm like, okay, no problem. I super hear you. You drink tea? Got it. You don't even drink tea? Okay, no problem. You just drink water, sort of water, electrolytes. You want to add that added in? And then before I know it, I get this array of, Tiffany, let me try a little bit. They try a little bit, and all they need is the little bit to taste the difference. You need your customer immediately to taste the difference. If you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay, first, can you please make sure you put #replay? But if you're watching this live, can you please put taste the difference? And my question to you is immediately, not eventually, not after they get through your training, not after they get through your process. Do you have a way where you have a container with your products and services inside right now that immediately they can taste the difference? Because if they can taste the difference, that is so good. I know someone's like, Tiffany, there's nothing in here. There is, it's in there. See, so delicious. It's almost finished though. I need to taste the difference. Can your customers, clients taste the difference right now? Can they taste the difference right now? Can they taste the difference right now after they consume your product and service, or do they have to wait? Because if they have to wait, the more they wait, the lower of a price you need to price your products and services. The faster they can taste the difference, the higher of a price that you can charge for your products and services. The longer it takes, the lower the price. The faster they can taste the difference, the higher the price of what you can charge. Okay, does that make sense? If that makes sense, can you just put the word money in the chat? If that made sense to you, I'm gonna ask you this. If that made sense, can you please put the word money in the chat? I wanna make sure that that lands for you. Because literally and truly, this is the difference between 100K and like 400K, same year, same person, same products and services, same everything. Like this is literally the difference. It's the magic. And you don't need a funnel, and you don't need all these tools, and you don't need all of this ... You really don't need any of that. And we're living proof of it. My team will tell you, after years and years of building, growing, scaling, building, growing, SANS, like it's everything. So what happens for us is that we put our products and services and 2. So this is a mass container. So we think that in order to get to 100K or 400K or million, like whatever it is you're after, that you have to have this big container and put all these people in and get this crazy funnel. You don't. Not at all. Especially when the content is generic. This is generic. This is generic USA. They don't even say anything positive on here. Like, this is so depressing. They don't even tell me, like, it's a success story that started in 1950 as a single donut shop in Quincy, Massachusetts, and now includes over 9,500 shops. Sure, Dunkin' has been known for its donuts, but it's our coffee that kept America running. Really? Is that so? And just what kind of brew could create such a stir? Open this container and find out. Please. You guys could have done better. Let me show you what they should have wrote. Let me just put this shit. Let me put this down. Let me show you what they should have wrote. Right here. Let me just show you. Let me show you one more time so you get this. Always pure and flavorful, like no other. They're basically telling you that they're the best. So you need your products and services in a container. One container, not 5. One container, and it doesn't need to be big and mass. It can be small. And in the smallness of this container, you make something that's really good. People are going, this is so exciting. And then you have a recipe that you share with them that becomes public, that they can see on one sheet of paper, a recipe of how to make the perfect café con leche. But this is not true café con leche because I did everything but add the milk because I wanted it stronger. I wanted to taste just the coffee this morning since I was talking all this. And you need to put it in a special thing when you serve it to them. Now, I could drink out of just about anything. There are tons of amazing stores and things like that. How are you serving your customers their product and services that they're consuming from you? I probably paid, I don't know, maybe 12 to 15 bucks for this thing. I bought it in Hong Kong. We took our clients to Hong Kong. And the truth of the matter, we actually took them to Thailand, and then I surprised them by taking them to Hong Kong. So we weren't there for a gazillion hours. But what's important for me to you is that it's a special cup for me. It's a special experience. It's something that feels exciting. How do you create a special cup and a special experience? How do you create a more special experience? How can you up your game? Chances are it's not going to cost you any money to up your game. It's not going to cost you any money to do anything better. It's nothing more than you developing a strategy, having a strategy. I had a spider bite me. You see that? Isn't that crazy? I had a whole spider bite me. I had a spider bite me. It's nuts. And it bit me on my face too. It was so bad. You should have seen it. It was crazy. I know. I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. So in this, Tiffany, stay focused. So in the simplicity of this is you have to have a container. The container does not need to be mass. The container needs to be clean. On the container, you need to have a bold statement. A bold statement. That is the essence of your story and marrying it with a brand. Building a brand. Café Bustelo can find me in any country and I'm there for the count. They could charge $15 for that thing. And I'm still going to buy it because I'm clear of what's inside because of their bold statement. And then after I have my bold statement, I need to have a recipe. Recipe that the customer knows what's happening. They can see what's happening. And then they can follow. And then they can either buy it to do it themselves or they can have us do it for them. That's the difference with a done with you, done for you, and a DIY. Because that recipe part of it, there has to be some form of transparency as to how we get from here to there. Which is why at our live event, it's a super special treat. I'm gonna walk into the kitchen and have everybody sit around that table and follow and watch every step I make. There are no hidden secrets as to how I make the perfect cup of café con leche. But it's because I want there to be transparency on the process. Could they try and duplicate it? For sure, but they don't. Like, there are clients who have literally traveled and gotten on a plane just for this private time because they know the way it's going to make them feel after they consume it, because it's a place of togetherness and wholeness and love and community and all things delicious. It's a place of me sharing my heart with them. So I show them the transparency of the recipe. Then I let them be part of the process. I let them consume it. Then I let them make a decision. Do you want to do it yourself, have us do it with you, or done for you? In most business models, you should have some form of all three. Like, we absolutely have products that allow you to master how to tell your story on your own. Then we have another amazing place where we have a couple of different directions and you can turn to do it with us. And then we have a place where in our story agency where we do it for them 100%. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to tell your story effectively, then who will, right? If you don't tell your story and you don't tell it effectively, then who will? And if someone else tells your story, they're going to get it wrong. And if you're not telling your story and you leave, like before you leave, before we all get out of here, like, man, the answer for me is like, no. Before I get out of here, I got to make sure that the world not only knows the the from then, but the world knows my story as it's happening from now, because I have a responsibility to leave every part of me as much as I can and the lessons with it to this planet and to my children who I love and to all the people that I love. I've got to teach. So me telling my story is not just me. It's using my story to teach, to evolve, to be present, and to help people in those one of three ways. DIY, done with you, or done for you. If this has been of any value and you're like, I had an aha, I'd love to know what it is inside of the chat. The second, if you have not liked this, please take the time to like this. Third, if you have not tagged a friend and they're like, they need to get their whole business together, that is a 360 approach as to how do you take your story, put it into a brand, a very simple essence. Because at the end of the day, babies, there's nothing special about this. It's some yellow and some red. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not like this is some crazy, amazing design, but the clarity allows me to pay any price. I don't fool with their competitors. And I have trust in what I'm going to consume. And so every single morning, regardless of where I am or what city or country, this item is here. And more importantly, if you have like a crazy question, head into our DMs. Ask me a question here. We're super happy to help. For those of you who are going to be joining us live at night as I pull this apart, I say, I'll see you later. For everyone else, I say, man, go tell your story. Doggone it, before someone else does and they get it wrong. The faster you tell your story, the faster you're going to build your business. The faster you tell your story, the faster you're going to build your business and whatever else you want. Yes, 3 sentences. And you can tell your story every day with just one of them. Any single one.